Hello. Welcome to the Now Page update for June 2023, and today is an interesting one. I'm actually a day late, which is the first time in a while that this has happened. I don't know what happened yesterday. I had it in my mind every few hours. I remember, oh yeah, Now Page. And ironically, I even have a notification right now. Basically, I have a new app. I moved from Notion to Obsidian, which honestly, this episode's probably going to be me nerding out about Obsidian more than anything, but I have other stuff I need to talk about as well. And so first and foremost, like I said, I've been working on Obsidian all last month. That's what I basically did. The reason being is that Notion ended up being a little bit too much. And what I mean by that is Notion had this system where you could build whatever you wanted, but you were reliant on what Notion could physically do. And I mean that literally, like it's physically in the cloud. You couldn't have it locally, really. You had a local app, but it was just a web browser, essentially all it was. And so it was frustrating to me, the fact that I couldn't access my data offline. So when AWS went down, Notion went down, and I lost access to that stuff. Not only that too, sometimes it would be laggy and sluggish, especially with big databases, which is something I had a lot of. And so it's one of those things where I got tired of using it. And so before I continue, Obsidian allowed me to solve those issues. And while I have different issues now, it's everything's local and I'm excited about it. Let's roll the intro. All right, welcome back. So the reason why I moved to Obsidian is for many reasons. First off, I had this idea that if I could have all my data in one place, then I can use that data with AI and create like this proto Jarvis. Super exciting idea. I'm still going to do it. Ironically, I have not been doing that many plugins, but that is okay because I need to make sure privacy concerns and all that jazz are taken care of. So with Obsidian, there's actually a lot of plugins, and some of them were more so like, okay, this is for function, this is more task management, this is more habit stacking, that kind of thing. Some of them I found to be really useful. So for example, Notion has the Notion web clipper, super helpful to add things to your database. I love it. It's supposed to scrape the website and take the blog post and save it there with it. But that seemed to only work 40% of the time. And it's like, oh, what's the point of using you if you're not going to do it? Might as well just use Gitpocket, which is built into Firefox. But eventually, I'd still use that Resonance inbox for collecting links, maybe not so much articles, but in the sense of, hey, there's a useful website I want to keep track of, I'll keep it there. I don't want to use Gitpocket again. I cleared that out. I try not to use bookmarks very much, that kind of thing. However, in Obsidian, I got this Read It Later plugin. Big shout out to the creator there. It basically, I just take my link, press the hotkey that I made, which for me was Alt-A. It takes the article, saves it automatically. 99% of the time it works. There's a few times where the website won't let you do it, then you just do it manually. That's fine. It even takes YouTube videos too, and it embeds the YouTube video. It's like, yes, thank you, finally. And so this is a great addition to the modular degree. So maybe I need to make a template vault out there for the modular degree for people to use, because I think this is even more powerful than what my Notion system had made. And I made a really powerful system in Notion. However, in Obsidian as well, not only is my input better, but my output is better as well. So not only am I able to keep track of all my content, which I'm going to get to in a second, but I can also journal. There's a button that literally helps me make a daily note every day. I have a calendar where I can click on any day or even any week and plan out my week ahead of time, which I still need to get good at doing, but I never did that in Notion, as well as a daily note, which I've been trying to do every day. I've only missed a few days, and some of the days I've missed, I was able to just do it the next day and remember what I had done the day before. But for the most part, I do it every day, and it's a great habit for me to get into, and I'm super excited about that. The next thing is that the system I created in Notion actually fit into Obsidian really well, and I'm really happy about that, the whole PIOS. And the reason why this is taking up this Now Page update is that this is what I've been staring at for the last multiple weeks. And so it's very important to me to get this out. This is what's happening now. This is what has happened in the most recent time, and this is going to be what's going to be happening in the next few weeks as well, despite the fact that I have finally painstakingly moved everything over, because I had to basically do it all manually, mind you. Now that I've moved everything over, I can start linking things together, tagging things together, and some of the plugins I had saved are good for doing that as well, making connections. Beyond that, beyond the brain plugins I call them, because I'm making connections like little neurons, I have the AI plugins. So once I start getting going with that, I'm really thinking that some of my progress will start to be accelerated because I can start interacting with my data in a lot more unique and different way. Also, one thing I hated about Notion, and this is a big part of who I am is information architecture, right? I created my system in Notion because I wanted to build out something. I had this idea in mind. I finally had a couple eureka moments, and I was able to build it the way I wanted to. However, Notion was a web app. It was separate from my local device. It was separate from all my videos and files and data on my computer. So all my content and ideas were all there, but then all my files, like audio, video, even images, and folder structure were all here. In Obsidian, and I was really worried this would slow it down, but it hasn't, I was able to merge those together. So all of my file structures now for all my videos can be organized into the content I'm making, and the notes for that content can be in here, viewed in different views for databases and Kanban boards, depending on which plugin you use. And it's beautiful. I can combine both of those together. I was trying to use LogSec, because LogSec had this AI integration that caught my eye. Then I realized Obsidian would be way more minimalist and better, and there's actually way more AI plugins with it. So yeah. Also, I ended up getting a standing desk, which is really great because I plan that I'm going to be on the computer a lot more now, and which is saying something. I also hope that now that my job is coming to an end, which is another point I need to make, is that I hope I can get a remote job and work more from home. I am leaving the ARC after 11 years in 2 weeks. Today's June 2nd. My last day is around June 15th, which was the first day I ever started working. So I'm super excited for this new chapter in my life. I think they wanted me to stick around, but if I keep a foot in the door, I know I'm going to go back, and I don't want that. One of my old mentors also gave me this great book, The Portfolio Life, which is ironic because that's what I'm building out. So he knew me quite well, and I'm really excited to keep reading that book as well. And so between the Obsidian craze, the new desk, which always makes me happy because I'm a real techie, and this helps me be my techiness. So it's like, yay. And then just the plans that I have ahead of time. There is a lot of potential here, potential energy that can go out, and it's starting to compound. And I'm looking at like my calendar, for example. Today I have the Level Up to, I guess it's a new name now, Journey to Polymathy newsletter. I have the Now page update. I have the devlog, and I got those two done now, essentially, or going to be. And so I'm getting stuff done. And that's just creation. Once I start getting more into the input side too, I can start scheduling out, hey, I want to read this article today, but I want to write this article today. And then they can even be similar. So, okay, I'm going to read these articles about polymathy. And there's actually a cool plugin called Journey, where basically you choose a start point and end point, and it fills in the middle with different things you should interact with in your system. And so I can use that Journey. Okay, here's all the posts that I want to read for this new article that I want to synergize into. And it's going to be great. Also, it's interesting how even things that I didn't quite think about when I first moved, like phase evos, for example, I created a unique system in the phase evos database where I have locations, buildings, people, and then quests. Every quest, person, and building would go into a location, and that way I could organize and keep track of all the things that are happening. However, I had to make multiple databases. I had to link them all together. It was actually very intricate, and I kind of was sad to leave that because I knew how important it was. But today, when I was writing a devlog, I had a really great idea. In Notion, all those little links were in a tiny little box for the database. And so they're all scrunched up together. They were not in a particular order. It was just kind of jumbled. Maybe it was alphabetical, but that's not going to be helpful. And so it actually was worse. They were linked together, sure, but I couldn't actually use that in any way. However, in Obsidian, I can make certain sections and actually make the links myself. I'm going to have to do that manually, but that's okay. I can go into each location, say, okay, these are the buildings, these are the quests, these are the people. I can even put them in a particular order too, based on when you interact with that thing. And I can put it in different sections there too. So I have the different locations, different buildings, and I can link it in a more specific way. So not only am I going to be able to do a better job than in Notion, but they're all going to link together too, and so I can see those connections visually. So I think this is going to help accelerate the game development, and I think this kind of data information architecture is something that a lot of indie devs don't think about. They think about, okay, I need the graphics, I need the programming, and I need the music, right? They keep track of that. They might even have a Google Doc or a sheet or something like that. When you're making a game of this size, especially as a solo developer, there's a lot of moving parts you need to keep track of. And usually you have a team of doing things. You have a team for the people, you have a team for the buildings, you have a team for the maps. I'm by myself, and even if I hire people out, they still need to have a system in place. And I think that there's a lot of advanced, video game campaign software out there. But I don't want those softwares. I don't want a separate tool for one. But on top of that, they're more specific for that use case, and they're not always going to be perfect too. This, I think, will allow me to create more of a phase evo specific system, and I think that's going to be helpful. Especially, I can just essentially copy it for the next couple of games as well. All in all, there is a lot of potential here. Now that I'm leaving my job, like people are asking me, "What are you going to do next? What are you gonna do next?" I don't have anything lined up, but I have karaoke and I have soul lessons, and I make a decent amount of money from soul lessons. So hopefully, I can do a ton of soul lessons in this time and build up a savings and pay off any debt, and I can go travel, come back, save up again, and then maybe move. And so I'm really excited about that. I need to get out of Colombia. I need to leave. I need to go. It's this time. And so I'm excited for this new chapter in my life. This whole time now it feels really exciting, especially now that I got these new tools to help me out. So thanks for being here. Cheers.